What's up, y'all? It's the Mad Hatter logging back in, reporting live from La Ciudad del Mal. So, all right, we're gonna talk about Colin Kaepernick. It's supposed to be major controversy, right? There's this weird thing going around recently, like in the Olympics too, where a couple of black athletes didn't put their hand over their heart, and so there's like a lot of outrage. I don't get that. Like, obviously they have on the red, white, and blue, so why do they also have to do that? But so Colin Kaepernick recently in a preseason game against the Green Bay Packers. He's a 49ers, San Francisco 49ers quarterback. He's competing with Blaine Gabbert, and so he didn't stand up. And a reporter asked him, during the national anthem, a reporter asked him why he didn't do that, and he basically explained. And let me tell you, let me get the exact quote of what he said. He says, quote, "I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people." The hell, hold up. "And people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street, and people are getting paid leave and getting away with murder." So obviously, he's talking about police officers killing unarmed black men in the United States, and he, feels compelled enough to make a political statement, which he has every right to do. The NFL looked into it, said that yes, while we would like for you to stand up and show cohesion or whatever the fuck, he's like, the NFL's like, look, you have every right to not do that. Like, we're not going to force you to do that. And same with the team. So there's nothing against what he did is completely within his rights. This is within his rights within the NFL as a private company, and it's also within his rights constitutionally. So we have to remember that. Um, So let's get into some of the criticism that people are talking about. People are like, look, man, he makes millions of dollars and he's privileged. Like, he should shut the fuck up. I mean, he could shut the fuck up, but I don't know if he should shut the fuck up. He has just because you're rich means that you're not allowed to speak on certain issues. Like everybody should be allowed to speak on every issue. Like, why are there certain qualifications for speaking on issues that involve uh, people being mistreated? Or is it just that you don't want people talking about people being mistreated because you don't want to hear that? But, to me, if that was the case, that'd be a little selfish. People are also saying, he's disrespecting soldiers. Now, that's kind of weak, man, because it's like, yeah, there are soldiers who go over there, who go over, to different countries and fight in wars, and they say, yeah, I fight for my country and my flag. But just because soldiers look at the flag that way doesn't mean that everybody else looks at the flag the same way. Like, the flag is a symbol. Like, there's no one way to look at the flag. Like, maybe he's looking at the flag like, okay, this is supposed to be a representation of the freedoms that, America affords people. But he's like, I don't feel that all of my people. He's like, maybe he's feeling that. Look, I don't feel that my people who look like me, who act like me, people of my community are getting those same freedoms. So how can I sit here as an athlete who is paid this much money, and who is privileged to a certain extent? How can I sit here and put my hand over my heart and support the flag? So maybe that's what he's going through, right? So when people look at him and are like, when people make the argument that soldiers, he's saying "fuck you" to soldiers. That's stupid because, like, are you racist because you stand up for the flag? No, like, that would be stupid for people on the other side to look at you in that way and say that, oh, I think America's racist, so if you stand up for the flag, you're also racist. So it goes both ways. We have to look at the flag as symbolism. And so, really quick, I'm gonna try to make this thing real quick, but try to finish this off. My questions to you: if you are against, Colin Kaepernick speaking out, like, if it really is, like, if you're just like 100% like, nah, fuck that shit, and if you believe that, he's not speaking about anything of value, like minorities or people of color are all treated the same as white people. If you believe that, I got some questions for you. And again, remember, the issue is not white people. White people are not the problem. The problem is is a system that supports white people at the expense of others, or any group. It just happens to be right now that the system is supporting white people, but it's not. White people are not the problem. So white people, if you think this, stop thinking that you're the problem. The problem is if you sit idly by while fucked up shit happens to other people, and you keep turning the other way, and you're like, nah, everything's cool, and everybody else shut the fuck up about it. Then you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. So my questions to you are, does this country treat, first off, people of color and whites the same? If you believe that, then we probably shouldn't even have the same conversation. We should probably stop even talking to each other if you believe that. But follow up to that is, would you trade places with a black person? Also, let me know the last time a black officer was killed by an unarmed white. The last time a black officer killed an unarmed white team and got off. If you can tell me the last time that's happened, or even the last couple of times, then maybe you have a point. Also, why do banks sell shitty mortgages to people of color and end up stealing their homes? Like during the Great Recession, people of color got subprime mortgages. The banks sold them those shitty mortgages and then foreclosed on those homes. So the banks in the immediate term made a lot of money. It was fucked up for the whole economy, but they still made money from it. So don't let anybody fool you about subprime mortgages. Like that shit was done by the banks knowingly and willingly. And then, so look, I'm gonna finish this off. Like Colin Kaepernick, right? He has every right to do what he did, but I think that he needs to offer solutions as well as doing his form of civil disobedience. He's not breaking any rules. He might piss you off. He might be pissing people off right now, but what he's doing is totally within his rights as a citizen, and it's within his rights as an employee of the NFL. And my last thing is like, it's crazy, man, because that we can talk about LGBT issues, domestic abuse, but issues of race where people are actually getting killed, like outside of people of LGBT do actually face a lot of violence, but black men face the most violence. And the fact that like the NFL is composed of black men, it's a black man sport essentially, but yet we can't talk about issues that affect black men. Like, it's crazy, and it's crazy that Colin Kaepernick's the only person who's speaking out against that. And it's also crazy how, like, what's his face? Tom Brady can bring up politics and talk about Donald Trump, but we're pivoting away from that. Like, all of a sudden, he's the victim when reporters ask him about Donald Trump, but even though he brings up Donald Trump, which is political. That's Tom Brady being political. He brought politics in the NFL, but there's not the same backlash as when a black athlete like Colin Kaepernick does that. So I'm going to leave that there. Let me know what you guys think, and peace.